So I'm Frederik, and I'm currently leading the Digital Transformation and Innovation Office at Daman. Daman is the largest health insurance company in the Middle East, and here my role is to help the various business units optimize and automate their operations, and at the same time working on creating a cohesive and engaging user experience across all business channels that we have, from branches or chat to the web and apps, of course. And besides that, I'm a lecturer in the world's first digital MBA on digital insurance, and I have lectures on digital transformation, how to use big data, technology architecture, and of course the future of insurance. I think there's a few challenges. One of them, or maybe the most dominant, is the lack of clear data strategies. Most companies, if not all, have access to all the data that they or we could dream of, but I don't know of many companies, except for the big tech companies, of course, that have it in a way that is organized enough to get the full value from it. Now, if you want automation, process optimization, digital transformation, and artificial intelligence to work, you need to make sure that you know what data you have and how and where it's structured. There's also the problem, which I think is maybe equally in size, of digital skills in the organization. The world around us is moving faster than most companies and people can keep up with. So the knowledge gap between what is actually required to run a digital company and what we actually have in store is increasing. So it makes it difficult for companies to effectively work with a digital first approach, simply because the organization as such lacks the digital capabilities. Yeah, and it's a good question. I think it's important to understand, number one, that digital transformation is about automating and optimizing processes. It's about looking at how do we operate today and how can we work smarter and faster and more efficient. Now, when you approach the process optimization as such, it's very important that you start to understand at first what is the actual outcome of this process. If you're asking a business unit or a business team about this, there's a big chance that they will make the process itself as part of the outcome, simply because they've been working with this for so long. And you have to make sure that you understand what is the outcome. An example here is if you ask a team, what is the outcome of this process? They would ask, we need to get this specific paper from the customer. This is the outcome of the process, so please help us get the paper as easy as possible. Now, you can be satisfied here, but if you go one step further, which is my recommendation, then you will ask, why is it that we need this piece of paper? What is it in that paper that we need? And they may say, we need a confirmation that A, B, and C for this specific customer. Now you can start thinking, okay, is there anywhere else we can get this specific confirmation from? Does this information exist in public archives? Does it exist in the government? Can we connect to somebody through an API and get this information so we don't even need the paper? And this is actually an example of what we're working on at the moment, where we are trying to remove many of these paper requirements that we have as an insurance company, simply because we don't need the paper, we need the content of the paper. And now we are in a situation where we can connect to the government and get the answers, which means we completely eliminate this process. So instead of even thinking about optimizing, we kill it. It's not even there anymore, because we just make one call to the government and get the answers that we need. So I think that's something to be aware of, to understand, does this process really need to exist, or can we completely eliminate it? And I think that's probably one of the best advice I can give. I would say if you're a startup company, you shouldn't be in need of digital transformation simply because you started the company. So your processes would most likely be as optimized as they can be. That you haven't had the time to grow old with the processes. But let me give you more a general advice on how I see that you get digital transformation to work successfully. You do this by focusing on very few processes at a time. It's perfectly fine that you want to change all the processes in the organization, but if you start big, you will simply confuse people, because you will start to move too many things at the same time. If you want digital transformation to be a success, start with one or two processes. Make sure that they work. Make sure that the organization see that this new process is working. Celebrate it, and then have a line of processes lined up for the next ones. But do not engage in too many changes at one time. The organization simply can't handle it. So small steps, but never stop.